Hello there. This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So in today's ASMR video for this Maps channel, I've got the old map out. Please excuse the incorrect colour here, which has been commented on before. Otherwise, apart from that, I like this map. It's nice and colourful. Let's learn something about different countries around the world. And I'll be choosing a country and reading some brief facts about it, so you can relax to my voice, the sound of my voice, my occasional whispers, but mostly in soft spoken. I pointed out this in a previous video and then someone followed it up with a comment, so it's worth mentioning again. This is what we call the Mercator map. If you imagine the Earth, of course, is a globe. It's round, and as such is stretched and distorted when put onto a flat version. As such, the extreme north and extreme south are stretched. But because there are very few places in the southernmost tip of the Earth compared to how many there are in the northernmost, these here are more accurate sized when they're close to the equator. So whilst this is more of a true size, this is a very exaggerated size. Greenland isn't that big. If you were to put it over Brazil, Brazil is much larger, as is Australia. But clearly Antarctica isn't this massive supercontinent either. It's just because it happens to be at the most extreme. It's actually around the South Pole, of course. There are websites where you can go, I think it's called something like True World Map or True, I can't remember what it's called, someone put it in the comment section. And you can have a little plane drag them around and have a little look at different ones. It's very interesting. Russia is obviously massive, but it's a little bit more stretched at the top here. Anyway, let's start off with beautiful Italy. Italy is in the heart of Europe here, in the south tip, southernmost tip. You can't see it very clearly on this because it's this light green colour, the same as Sweden here is that light green. But you'll have to take my word for it that it looks like a boot. Stivale, in Italian, a boot, with the two islands, the two largest islands here, Sardinia and Sicily. The capital, Rome, is sort of smack bang in the centre. To the south is a very large city called Naples, or Napoli, and to the north you've got Milan around here-ish, and Torino around there. Two very large cities. Venice is over in this coast, very close to Slovenia and Croatia. Some quick facts from the internet, so they must be true. Italy is a boot-shaped peninsula in southern Europe, known for its rich history, art and cuisine. Of course, one of the best cuisines in the world, with Rome as its capital. It has the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites globally, is home to active volcanoes like Mount Etna, and features independent enclaves, the Vatican City and San Marino. What are they? Vatican City is actually an entire country, but it's so small it fits in the middle of Rome. And San Marino is just up the coast here, on the east side of the country. Neither are officially part of Italy, although both are countries where Italian is spoken. There are actually 3 active volcanoes in Italy. There's Mount Etna, Stromboli, and technically Vesuvius, which is right next to Naples. And it's basically all you can see if you look out your window and look away from the seaside in Naples. 2 independent countries are located entirely within Italy. They are the Vatican City and San Marino. And Rome is the capital, while Milan is considered the industrial and fashion hub. And Venice was built on 118 islands and is slowly sinking. Italy is the birthplace of the Renaissance, hosting masterpieces from Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. The University of Bologna would be about there-ish, I think, sort of halfway up the boot a little bit more and inland a little. Not far from Florence. There's a university there, and it was founded in 1088, making it the oldest in the world. Technically, Italy is a relatively young country in its current state. Italy only became a unified country in 1861. 1861. Prior to that, it was all papal states and independent areas before they formed together to make modern-day Italy as we know it. Although I think, technically, prior to that, there was such a thing as Italy then. Shakespeare also has a little bit of an obsession with Italy because over a dozen of Shakespeare's plays, including Romeo and Juliet, are set in Italy. It also produces more wine than any other country. That means it must be more than France as well. Famous for pizza, margherita, pasta and gelato, ice cream. Italians invented the piano, eyeglasses, and the radio. Football is the most popular sport. Italy has won the World Cup 4 times, but famously won't be in the next edition of the World Cup in Canada, Mexico and the US, and hasn't been in the last, therefore, 3 World Cups. Young Italians often live with their parents until their 30s. There is a fountain in a place called Abruzzo that flows with red wine for free 24/7. The flag of green, white and red represents hope, green, faith, white, and charity, red. That's Italy. Okay, let's go from Europe. We'll go across here and we'll go to China next. China here in this beautiful red colour. We can see Inner Mongolia here. This is Mongolia, the country, but then this part here, Mongolia used to be twice as large. This part is Inner Mongolia. There's a desert over here before Xinjiang province. Tibet is over here. This is Manchuria. And then this seaboard side, the eastern coast, is where the vast majority of the population and the Han people live, which make up about 80 or 90% of the population. Beijing is just inland up here, and Shanghai is around here. China is the world's, oh actually it says it's the world's most populous nation, but we know now that India, over here in the purple, has recently overtaken it. It says it has 1.3 billion people with a 5,000-year history. As a major global economy and authoritarian state, in other words, you can't vote, and there's very strict laws on what you can and can't do. It is renowned for inventing paper and gunpowder, holding 50% of the world's pigs, and high-speed rail networks. Beijing is the capital. Beijing literally translates to northern capital, and as such there is a place down here called Nanjing, which means southern capital, but Beijing is the capital and it's just in here. Fun fact about Beijing, there are mountains surrounding it, and the winds for about 9 months come this way. And so because of all the terrible traffic problems they have in Beijing, the smog can't get out. It's like a cauldron until the winds change for a short period of the year, and it clears out the smog. So there's terrible smog there because of the ways the wind blows and the mountain range that is surrounding Beijing itself. Beijing in Mandarin. Beijing is the capital and it's where Mandarin is spoken. As such, they then promoted the use of Mandarin across the whole country, even in places where they would speak other languages like Shanghaiese or Cantonese in the south. Size is similar to the continental United States. That means not including Alaska and Hawaii, and probably Puerto Rico as well. China operates on only one official time zone, causing sunrises as late as 10 AM in the west. That's right. So whereas the states have, I think it's 4 time zones, you have like Eastern, maybe something called Mountains and Pacific, and I think there's one other as well, maybe Midwest or something it's called. In China you have one to unify the country, but that means over here and over here it's 12 o'clock at the same time. So you can imagine it could be up to 4 hours, maybe even 5, different in reality. It shares land borders with 14 different countries, for everything from Russia to North Korea to Vietnam and India as well. All giant pandas belong to China. They are rented to foreign zoos. Well, I did not know that. The Tibetan Plateau is home to Mount Everest, which is over here, which straddles the border with Nepal. Nepal is this one in blue. China invented paper, the magnetic compass, printing, porcelain and gunpowder. Sticky rice was used in the mortar to hold the bricks of the Great Wall together. The Great Wall, which is sort of around here, I visited when I went to Beijing. It is the only man-made structure that's visible from space, by all accounts. And the Yangtze, or the Changjiang River, is the longest river in Asia and 3rd longest in the world. The number 8 is considered the luckiest number, while red represents success and good fortune. And that is why on Chinese New Year, or the Spring Festival, you give someone a red envelope, particularly if you're a grandparent, to a child, containing money. It's for good luck. The colour red is synonymous with good luck, as is the number 8. I think there was a, in Hong Kong, there might have been a number plate that was 888, and I think it went for like something obscene, like £1 million, because Hong Kong would have been part of the UK at the time, or the British overseas territories, whatever. And yeah, it was considered so lucky to have that And also there is number 4 rhymes with the word for death. So it seemed to be incredibly unlucky. Number 4 is s, but death is s. And therefore in hotels there is never number 4. So if you go to the 4th floor, it's called floor 5. And if you're in room 4, you're actually in 1, 2, 3, 5. You'll never find a number 4 in a hotel because it's seen to be such bad luck. Where next? Let's go from China over here, and we'll go down to South America, to Brazil, where we can find the Amazon rainforest. Brazil is the largest country in South America. Argentina is very long, but it's not quite as large as Brazil, and has nowhere near its population either. Brazil's got a very large population, also mostly centred around the coast, particularly this area of the coast here. Very highly populated cities of Rio and Sao Paulo there. Brazil also, similar to the United States, has different states, so it is actually called the Federative Republic of Brazil officially. Much like the United States, but the Federative Republic of Brazil, because of the different states and federations, I think. Brazil is the largest country in South America and the 5th largest in the world by both area and population. Located in the eastern part of the continent, it is known for the Amazon rainforest, vibrant culture, and for being the only Portuguese-speaking nation in the Americas. All of the others here speak Spanish, and these 3 speak a form of Dutch, English and French. And it's also quite crucial that the majority of the Portuguese speakers in the world live in Brazil, not in Portugal. Same as Spanish, which is centered around Mexico, which has the largest population of any Spanish-speaking country, not Spain. Brazil covers nearly half of the South America's landmass and borders every South American country except Chile and Ecuador. Approximately 60% of the Amazon rainforest is in Brazil, which is home to immense biodiversity. There's quite a lot of it in Colombia, Bolivia and Peru as well, and Venezuela, I believe. The country has a 4,500 mile long Atlantic coastline. The highest point is Pico da Neblina, located on the border with Venezuela. Pico da Neblina sort of translates as the peak in the clouds. Or maybe even Neblina, foggy peak, perhaps. The capital is somewhere called Brasilia. It has been Rio de Janeiro in the past, and I think maybe Sao Paulo at one point, possibly. Famously designed Brasilia, which is all the cities are man-made, but it was designed to be the capital and move it slightly inland, away from the coast. And it was designed to look like an airplane from above. Brazil has the largest Catholic population in the world, though Christianity as a whole represents over 83% of the population. And Sao Paulo is the most populous city, located sort of here-ish. Well, Rio de Janeiro is a major tourist hub. It's around there, they're not far from each other. Brazil men's national team is the most successful in FIFA World Cup history, having won the tournament 5 times. They're nicknamed the Samba Boys. Brazil is one of the world's largest economies and a major exporter of coffee, a position it has held for over 150 years. Voting is compulsory in Brazil. The country has over 4,000 airports and it has the world's longest coastline. No, it doesn't. That's Canada. That last one is nonsense. Okay, next one. Okay, we've done one from the Americas, one from Europe, one from Asia. Let's do one from Africa at least. So we're going to look at Ethiopia, which is here. You'd be forgiven for not spotting this, but Ethiopia doesn't actually have a coastline as such, or it has a very small coastline because its coast is sort of taken away by Eritrea here and Somalia here. There's only a little bit there, I think. No, that's taken away by Djibouti. Yeah, I don't think it has any coastline. Even though it's so close. So close to the sea. Ethiopia is the oldest independent nation in Africa, and one of the oldest in the world. Never formally colonized. It is known as the cradle of mankind, where the fossilized hominid Lucy was discovered. The country features a unique 13-month calendar that is roughly 7 years behind the Gregorian calendar and is the birthplace of coffee. Wow, really? I wouldn't have thought they had the climate for coffee. Landlocked in the Horn of Africa, that confirms my earlier point. Landlocked, it's not close to the sea. Well, it's very close to the sea. It features the Danakil Depression, one of the hottest and lowest places on Earth, and the Simien Mountains. The capital is Addis Ababa, which is Africa's 4th highest capital, located 2,450 meters, that's 8,038 feet above sea level. Over 80 ethnic groups exist, with the largest denomination being the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. Okay, so it was never colonized, but it was occupied by Italy between 1936 and 1941. Coffee is believed to have originated in Ethiopia, discovered by a goat herder named Kaldi. The official animal is the Abyssinian lion, and the country is home to the endangered Ethiopian wolf and Gelada baboon. Agriculture is the largest sector, but Ethiopia has been among the world's fastest growing economies recently. Axum is famous for its ancient monolithic obelisks and as the claimed home of the Ark of the Covenant. The Blue Nile River produces over 80% of the Nile's water and originates in Ethiopia. So it starts there and goes all the way up there. The Nile is the longest river in the world. It actually slightly beats the Amazon and the Yangtze. Okay, let's finish off by doing one from Oceania then. I'm not going to be predictable and do Australia or New Zealand again. I always do them. Let's do the Solomon Islands instead. So, the Solomon Islands is a sovereign nation in the South Pacific east of Papua New Guinea, consisting of over 900 islands, including the major groups of Guadalcanal, Malaita and Santa Isabel, with a population of over 820,000. Capitalized by Honiara on Guadalcanal, this Melanesian country is known for its intense World War II history, high biodiversity, over 70 living languages, and a 95% Christian population. The archipelago itself comprises of 992 islands, of which only 147 are inhabited. stretching across 1.35 million kilometers squared of ocean. That's enormous. I suppose, actually, it's bigger than France in that respect. Just the islands themselves are quite small. The highest point is Mount Popolmaneseu on Guadalcanal, which stands at 2,310 meters, or 7,578 feet. Ramble Island, the world's largest raised coral atoll and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is on Ramble Island. Oh well, the coral isn't on the island, it's probably next to it. So it says over 70 different languages are spoken, making it one of the most linguistically diverse places on Earth, although English is the official language. The population is primarily Melanesian, with smaller Polynesian and Micronesian communities. 5 to 10% of the population has natural blonde hair, which evolved independently of European contact, a unique trait in Oceania. One-talk system, a social communal support system based on family or language groups, crucial to social structure. It gained independence from the United Kingdom on the 7th of July 1978 and is a member of the Commonwealth. In World War II, the islands were the site of fierce fighting, particularly the Battle of Guadalcanal, leaving many wreck sites today. Oh, I hope they didn't disturb the coral. Okay, that's all for today then. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then click that like button. If you enjoyed the theme the first time you found one of my videos, click subscribe and check out my playlists. If this isn't your first time and you love what I do, join everybody else over on Patreon for early access and extra videos every month. And if you want to add anything, correct any of the... I noticed 1 or 2 incorrect about the population of China being the largest and the coastline of Brazil being the longest. They're wrong. If I missed any that were wrong and still said them, please mention it in the comment section, add some more fun facts yourself, and maybe ask for a certain country when I come back to do this video again soon. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you found it relaxing but also interesting, and I'll see